right. Yo. What up, though? AyatollahMarv in the building. How you doing?
Good. How you?
Hey, I'm good, man. Getting to sitting here, man, right now with, well, I want to say right now, can I call y'all online royalty right now? Like y'all making waves, man.
You just call us to help.
The help. Okay, there we go. I've been checking your journey out, Melvin journey out, seeing how y'all been going through, trying to make change, hearing y'all stories of what y'all been through and what y'all overcome, and how y'all trying to get back. I think it's an amazing journey, an amazing testament, and I think it's the best time now because we're in a place where information spreads so fast. So shout out to you guys, man, and what y'all doing right now.
Thank you.
Since it's our first time sitting down, Mogul State of Mind, I want to go back to the beginning. You put the disclaimer out there. You're the oldest living Piru.
Oldest living Piru in the world.
In the world.
In the world.
Take us to the journey in the beginning, coming up Compton, California. Is that where you were born and raised?
Yeah.
What was it like coming up in Compton?
I grew up in Compton. Compton was, you ever heard of Andy Griffin and Mayberry?
No.
Andy Griffin and Mayberry is a little, a show that came on about white America.
Okay.
And when I grew up in Compton, it was the LA Dodgers lived in Richland Farms. George Bush's family stayed in Compton.
Okay.
All of the Compton, when I grew up, was called the city of no smog. And our 10 square miles from Long Beach in the south and the mountains in the north, the sea air and the mountain air came together and it purified the air. We had the cleanest air per capita to any state in the United States.
Oh, wow.
So I grew up with the spook hunters, some white individuals that after 7 o'clock, blacks couldn't go across Wilmington Avenue. You know, they would get rocks thrown at them, get shot with BB guns. And my generation grew up, we were with Clarence Darrow called it the rhetoric of no. Mm-hmm. So we didn't give a fuck about a cracker. So we put a whole different disclaimer on it. Like I said, I'm from Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
So we ran Freddy Krueger out of Compton, you know. So our whole mission at the time of growing up, my original neighborhood was Treetops because all our streets were named after trees. Maple Street, Cedar Street, now they're Cedar Blocks, Brazil Street, Poplar Street, all the streets are named after trees.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So our whole neighborhood went from the canal to Central Avenue, from Rosecrans to Compton Boulevard. In the later dispensation, it was divided on Palmer Street and they became Palmer Block Crips. And we became, my brother then became Cedar Block, Pirus.
Got you.
Yeah.
Now, I saw on one interview, I want to say Cam, when you were saying like everything normally start off as cliques. So was gang culture kind of always part of LA before it became big?
We've always had gangs. Gangs started right after Cain killed Abel.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you start set tripping after that. You know, when Lot and Abraham separated, I was a gang truce. So we've always had gangs before Bloods and Crips. It was the Slausons, the businessmen, the gladiators. We've always had a gang element. I became a gang member in probably 1959. One of my relatives told me that, nah, y'all ain't no blackjacks, y'all treetops. And we ran with it, you know? So that was our section, and everybody has their own little cliques. But in the cliques, when I grew up, it was Front Hood, the Swamps, and Treetops, you know?
Gotcha.
So that was the element. We went to Vanguard Junior High School. They went to Enterprise, and you clashed, you know?
So it always been like a teenager, young person type of thing, the cliques.
Yeah. So, I mean, the origination of everything starts with the young. They said, young men for war, old men for battle, you know? So people like, man, you still gang banging at 72 years old? Well, how many generals you know that are 20?
That's real.
So, somebody has to construct the army. We're the only race of people that don't have a net force to move on. Everybody is so stagnated. So now I see a value in young people. And in the value of young people, will they kill each other? Well, do you think blacks didn't kill blacks as many whites killed in the Crusades? The Crusades was a war for 200 years. Huh?
Yep.
Let's go to the Civil War. How many crackers got killed in the Civil War?
Yeah, a lot.
So they're professional killers. So we've been into it 50, 60 years. It's just target practice. When we understand who the real enemy is, it'll change a lot of this float.
That is real.
So we're doing things, we're coming into our own, but white America is so devious, and they make prey of us so easily. So they done took it into the homes, and they done recreated in rap, and they done got us against us. A guy was telling me the other day about rap music and changing the complexion of rap music. And he's telling me about the underground. Well, man, Marv, every rapper, he ain't preaching about death and killing. It's some uplifting. Where is it on the top 100?
Yeah, rap is up there. It's running.
Gangster rap, fucking killing, throwing drugs. It's Common is gone.
Yeah, that's real.
Understand me? Nostradamus is gone. Now you got Young Thug, but they're initiated. Now, do you realize the only two rappers right now that's selling clean rap and that's in the top 100?
And who are those two?
That boy Josh Harlow.
Oh, Jake Harlow.
First Class.
Yep.
He ain't talking about killing nobody.
Yep.
Huh? Post Malone. But they done took white folks and took our music and made it all right. And we still have to have music on a third grade level.
Yeah.
So when we got platforms like this, where you can independently get at people, and I don't see rehabilitation. I did 25 years in prison, and rehabilitation is taking you out of one situation and putting you in a better situation. But when they take you out of this situation and put you back in the same situation that was worse than where you left, that's called recidivism.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying? I didn't grow up not that. I had my own room in my house. My mother went to college. My father was a worker. And I just didn't like white folks. I've never burglarized no black people's houses. I've never stolen any black people's car. All of my crimes has been against white America. Every one.
So once they put down that curfew and you couldn't come over here, that began told the title of your war against the other side.
No, how my war really started with white America, I was like 8 years old. And they call it Gonzales Park now, but it was Cressy Park back at the time. And Rosecrans was a dirt road. And I was coming across the street with my friends, and these white boys pulled up. Never forget the car. They didn't like Ford no more. A Ford Crown Victoria pulled up on us, and these four crackers, they had their T-shirts rolled up with some Camel cigarettes on the side.
Gotcha.
The butch haircuts.
Like Happy Days.
Yeah, they says, hey, man, they ask us about a store. So just like, they said, man, don't walk up on the car. I'm calling myself innocent. I go to show them where it was down the street, and these Peckerwoods threw rotten eggs and tomatoes on me.
Oh, man.
And laughed, broke my heart. I just cried. Why would anybody do me like this? And me and my little crew, my mother go to bed 8:30. We'd be out the window at 9 o'clock. And so back in, I don't know how y'all do it in Detroit, the mailboxes are in the door, right?
Okay, yep, that's how ours was.
So we would go on the white, like Magnolia Street, right in the corner where all the white people live, right? And we go into their houses 10 o'clock at night, and we get the water hose and put their water hose in the mailbox and turn the water on. In the morning, their furniture is floating, bro. You know? So we had a dairy. So we would go to the dairy at night and get bags and put cow manure in it. and wrap it up and go to hit your doorbell, ding dong. White people, they have a robe on and their house shoes, and we light it on fire. And they come out and they stomp it and shit me everywhere, right? then we had, you know what a pomegranate is?
Yep.
Take a pomegranate and split it down the middle. White man come to the door, fuck you. He chase you. Everybody hit him with a pomegranate. When we go into school in the morning, you could see the little pink stuff on his neck.
Man, yeah. Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, so we was on a mission, you know. So that's how we start. That was my battle with white America. And like say me and about 8 of my friends, we was looking at the Untouchables, and they had these blackjacks. So we went and cut some water hoses and wrapped them up with black tape, and we was the blackjacks, right?
Okay.
So my cousin come one day like, man, what the hell y'all doing? Y'all ain't no blackjacks, y'all treetops, right? And I'm like, treetops? That sound good too. So that's how my venture started. And so we were all inclusive. When I was in Compton, the Compton show, we could only go to the show after 2:00 on Sundays. Mm. The white boys could go to the show on Fridays and Saturdays, matinees, right? We couldn't go. So in 1960, I believe, they had this thing called Beach Party. A big movie came called Beach Party. And you ever heard of the Mickey Mouse Club?
Yep.
Well, there was a white lady there we all loved named Annette Funicello. And she was in Beach Party. And we all wanted to go. We're like, man, we can't go until Sunday. We want to go to the matinee Saturday. So all of us in all the schools, Vanguard, Enterprise, about 20, 30, maybe 50 kids coming down Compton Boulevard. We get to the movie and they like, you know, y'all can't come till tomorrow. We all just rushed in the movie. Went to the back door, opened it up. White people was running. We sitting there. They cut the movie off.
Oh, man.
And they called the Compton police. So it was McDonald and Johnson came. And these were white men too. He's like, did y'all pay to get in? Yes, sir. We paid our 10 cents. He told the man, shit, turn the movie on. And after that, we was in the movie every Saturday.
Oh, man, that's a straight up civil rights movement right there.
That was a revolutionary movement.
Absolutely.
We did it with force. Ain't nothing you can do. If you think that you can take America with politics, you're crazy as hell. They didn't get America with politics.
Force. Because
every time you deal with a law, this white man got an amendment to that law that you didn't know nothing about. Huh?
Yeah, that's real.
So we have to learn, not just play the game, we have to know the rules to the game. And that's my journey, showing youngsters the rules to the game. Don't never do a crime you don't know how much time it's going to cost you. You know what I'm saying? So we start trying now, instead of, I redevelop minds. Because these dudes can't go to Beverly Hills. They can't go, they got to come back to Compton. And just because you come back to Compton don't mean that you have to go to the same park, get in the same situation, and go in the same way. If Marvin Kinsley can do it, anybody can. Anybody. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So we're in a situation with our children. It's not what you say, it's what you do. I work every day. I do every day. I go through the park, slide through, but I'm Mr. Kinsley. I ain't your homeboy. I had to tell one of my sons one time, bro, I just met you. Yeah, you ain't cool. What are you talking about? You know what I used to do when I grew up. No, I had sex with your mama and you was a +1. I didn't know whether you were going to be a boy or a girl.
Right, yeah.
We ain't cool like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have to separate. We got 30 years of our children not knowing anything how to be a man. They was raised by their moms. If my oldest sons had depended on me, they'd be sitting down to pee. I was in prison. Their mom go to the bathroom and sit down, huh?
Yeah.
So if they seen her, they'd be sitting, lucky they ain't. But it wasn't nothing I had to do with, right?
Right.
So then he come out and you 15, 16, 20, what I'm going to tell you what to do?
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, nigga, I don't know you, you know, unless you just got the heart to intervene. Because half of us was on crack, the other half was in prison. So you left these children abandoned. And they feel like, well, nigga, I don't need you. So that's how the gang felt like, man, long as I got the gang, and that's the blind leading the blind, because we never had a positive direction to send the gang in.
So speaking of gangs, like when did you start seeing, like you had the cliques, but when did you start to see Crips come up on the radar, like that being formed? And
1969, really, the first gang killing was the Crips. They killed a dude for a red leather coat at Taco Tia on 41st and Central.
now, did Crips start in Compton or L.A.?
L.A.
L.A., okay.
Yeah, L.A.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here in 69, Crips come about. At what point did you, Pirus, that name start to come about?
Well, the first blood gang was the Brims.
Okay.
5'9" Brims. That was the first blood gang. And they were against the Crips. And then after the Brims, the bounty hunters, is the 5-line, Nickerson Gardens.
Okay.
And in 1972, little bit, originally Piru was considered, we had, Mickey Blue was our hero. Mickey Bowen, all the Bowens was bank robbers.
Okay.
That's what they did. At Compton, we were all, you come to Compton, you'll be disappointed. Because we ain't got no projects. We're everybody's single family homes.
Okay.
But that don't make you a punk. We gonna fight for ours just like anybody else. Whether you come out of the project, wherever you come from, we gonna squab just like anybody else. We still hustle, but everybody had a hustle. So Mickey Blue, Clarence Grandy, Lonnie Hall, Victor Murphy. These was bank robbers back in the day. And so we used to play football, our side against their side. Piru Street is a big, long street, and every house got 3 or 4 boys in their house, right?
Right.
The Bowens was like 5 boys, right? Terry, Big Hair, Big H, he's like the godfather. He's my big homeboy, right? He one put Piru together in that aspect of showing how to get on, how to fight, and this and that. So we playing football one day. How the name came up is, well, before the name came up, one day Mickey Bowen came up, we playing, and Mickey Bowen rides up in this 60 Cadillac, pink with white interior, right? Jumps out with a shark skin suit, hair looked like patent leather, right? Say, hey, that's Terry brother, that's Mickey Blue. So he's like, hey, y'all, come here. He said, you ever seen a lot of money? Like, no. So he got a big suit, a big chest in the trunk of his car, big Cadillac in them days. He opens it up, it ain't nothing but $100 bills.
Damn.
And we like, oh. And so he gets, you ever heard of a Bow dollar?
No, never heard of
that. Silver dollars.
Okay, yeah.
Silver dollars. He got a bag of silver dollars. And he just throw them, get many as you want, right? We putting dollars in our pocket. Miss Bourne, Mickey Blue, you come in this house, give them boys all that money. We're like, man, I want to be just what he do. What does Mickey Blue do? I want to do what Mickey do. So right after that, some white men came up. They went to Miss Bowen's house, right? Came back, they came outside, hey, you know Mickey Bowen and Lonnie Hall? And we like, nah. Yeah, well, we looking for the Piru boys. They're bank robbers. So them the Piru boys, them 4 right there, right? So that's how the name came, Piru Block, because they was known. Mickey robbed the bank. Terry Bowen, Jerry Nelson, they hit an armored truck in 1968, had one of the biggest heists in California at the time, hitting an armored truck for $180,000. You know what I'm saying? So that's how these dudes was always progressive. So to go on, in 1972, Lil Billy Flowers was coming down Compton Boulevard, and he seen his girlfriend in a car with another guy named Jody Crawford. Jody Crawford was from Watts, from the Jordan Downs. So Jody came and they was arguing about the girl. Billy Flowers tell Jody, man, when I go to my car, but Jody already had a gun and killed Billy Flowers, one of the first murders in Compton.
Mm-hmm.
They killed little Billy Flowers. And it was like devastating, right? And when they took him to the funeral home on Firestone, which is across the street from the Jordan Downs, the dudes from the Jordan Downs came and took his body out the casket and threw it on the floor.
No.
Yeah. So Miss Flowers had pudding, Tam, Lil Vince, asked them. So they went up to Harrison Ross funeral home. When they went up to Harrison Ross funeral home, when dudes came across the street, they started shooting at him. Like, who in the hell is him? We Pirus. So when they started being when they heard Pirus, they started calling them roosters. Roosters are red, so they associated us with the Bloods.
Got you.
So that's 72, 73, the creation of West Side Piru started. The foundation it's 3 streets in Compton named Piru. Fruittown Piru, 135, and West Side Piru. Ain't no other street named Piru.
Got you. So when you see someone like Wack100 bang Piru and he from, how you say, Pacoima?
From Pacoima. Confused. 2 P's and a B. Pacoima Piru Bloods.
Okay.
You're either a blood or you're a Piru.
So you can't be both?
No.
So when he say that, well, I guess I'm confused now. So
Yeah.
what is that?
Confused. He mad at me because he confused.
Okay.
He's around. He just came up. Like I say, I don't know you, nigga. He's a 2000 dude. He came. It wasn't no death row when he came to death row. Suge was in prison, had done his time 93 to 96. When Pac got killed, death row was on the decline. By the time he started hanging around, Snoop had left, Dre was gone. Where's death row at?
So he wasn't, because white dude claimed like he got somewhat of a rapport with Suge. So Suge was out of the pretty much.
No, he don't have no rapport with Suge. I mean, Suge went, at the time, it was character assassination with Suge in Compton. So he started hanging with the dudes from Pacoima, Piru.
Gotcha.
And this is how Yosemite Sam got in with Suge. So once he got in, just all these creeps. I have a problem. I've been gang banging most of my life. I've never met Big Hugh. I've never met Harry. How do you know all these people? You got to be working for somebody. How you have all these affiliations and you talk to these people and they send you all this information? Who are you?
Hey, I ain't got no dog in this fight. I feel it.
I'm just saying, analytically, it's some things that you just stay in your lane. I worked for Mike Tyson for 2 years. I did Set It Off with Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett. I worked for Black Ground Records. I worked for Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston. And I still ain't met all these niggas that he knows.
So when you hear Wack100 come at you,
Huh?
and Wack100 come at least online, and say he was gonna knock your ass out.
Oh yeah. That's what his feelings is hurt. He said, I don't know him. I've never seen him before. Right?
Right.
Is that what he told you? Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
Okay. Let me show you something. This is 2015. I can't say we, but Game did a video in Cedar Block neighborhood, which was called Black Wall Street, right?
Okay.
And he said, yeah, I met this nigga, and he was timid, and he acted this way. Okay.
You can hold it right there, yeah.
This is Wack100. That's his car. He's smiling. He's so happy to be around, right? Now he's up under. This is Wacko from the west side in the red pants. He stays up under Wacko. That's his back right there, right?
Okay.
All right. Now one of the Lil Rob, his son gets into it with Game. That's Lil Rob and Game right there. Right?
Okay.
Lil Rob got a gun, and he tell Game, man, blood, we got to get out. Him and this nigga hollers, man, he got a gun. Him and Drake run to the back of the light, all that knocking folks out. So that's Drake. That's me and Game.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been a G all my life, man. This ain't nothing. He met me then in 2005. Big homie. Now, I don't know him. I don't know this. My nephew is Ray Shrimmer, Sway Lee, and Slim Jimmy.
Okay.
Okay. Sway Lee and this little boy named, what's his name? Trippie Redd.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with Trippie.
So Slim was at Rolling Loud with one of his homies, and dude and his crew run up on him and start socking him out and knock Slim's little homie out, about 20 dudes. So my nephew called me and tell me what happened with this dude, Trippie Redd. I'm like, okay, like, let me check this out. I'm thinking it's a grown man or something. When I see Trippie Redd, he looked like Lil Chucky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, I can't do nothing to this little guy here. So Slim said, all I want is a fair one with him. So I gets in contact with my homie that works with this dude. He said, man, Wack100, Blueface is doing some music with Trippie Redd. So we get on the phone and I say, bruh, I just want to get with this dude. And that was him and Sway Lee. What Jimmy have to do with it? Jimmy just he said, well, let me check it out. So he calls me back on the phone. So he tells me, well, man, dudes, I said, well, I don't want what can we do? Man, you can't tell me what to do with my money, man. I hang up the phone on him. So we've had dealings. And like I said, I got $10,000, but now he don't want to knock me out. Now he want to put a contract on me.
Oh, man.
He tried to save his life. Yeah, wherever we meet, you gonna die. So, okay, we gonna see how that work out for you.
It's crazy, man, because I don't know when I see it online, although we know, like, online, people say online isn't the streets, but online do have some street implications now.
It can get people hurt
Yeah.
in real life because this is pretend. You know, in prison, we call it cell soldiering.
Yeah.
Behind the cell, you doing all this talk. When you get to the yard, you don't want to do it.
That's real.
You know, but in the yards I was in, either you die or you transferred. So Wack, either transfer or get out.
With coming up in Compton, for the world, a lot of people say what introduced the world to LA gangs was the movie Colors. When Colors came out, it seemed like all over the country, people start to begin to imitate or emulate.
Yeah, the media professed, it's just like the media, you didn't ever hear about high-speed chases. And then once it started coming on the news, everybody wanted 30 seconds of fame, huh?
Yeah.
Compton became, we always been famous. Like I say, we had more blacks going to the Olympics than any state in the United States, the 10 square miles of Compton. When you get your Avion water and your all this different kind of water, and they show you all these artesian wells and these waterfalls.
Yeah.
The first 21 wells, artesian wells, are from Compton, California. We sold the water there, so y'all drinking Compton water, actually.
I'm glad it's not Flint, though.
No Flint water. So we've always done great things in Compton. Our 10 square miles, it's always been pivotal.
Gotcha.
And so when you had Ryman, NWA changed the record, the whole genre to gangster rap.
Okay.
Niggas with an attitude, straight out of Compton. Changed the whole, it ain't been the same since.
At all.
You know what I'm saying? So we've always been trendsetters in the city of Compton. You know, so when you say, well, how it started with colors and that, it didn't affect us. Actually, it affected it with membership. Everybody wanted to be a part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, it's just like being it was a time, a Piru, when you said you was a blood, it was never a man, because you had 20, 30, more, 40 Crips against 2 Bloods. So you had to have a camaraderie. You had to sleep in shifts at times, fighting with these dudes until you did like, man, okay, they got it. You, a dude said, man, I'm a Piru. You like, man, I don't care if you from the moon. You said Piru, so you with us. Now we in fighting with each other. Bloods don't kill Crips, they kill each other. Crips kill Crips now.
That's wild.
And Mexicans, police kill all of us.
Now, when you see like you know, like especially like Texas is a place that got a lot of LA gangs here. You see a heavy influence of Bloods and Crips, especially in the South. And I mean, you see it everywhere now. But I interviewed Faison Love, and Faison was talking about anybody that bang from another state, bang a LA gang, LA or Compton Street from another state, isn't real. They're not authentic.
Exactly. Like, nigga, what part? Hayward. Nigga, you don't even know what the fuck you talking about. Right. It's like, it's a hood thing. It's a California thing. How about this? Nobody in Oakland claims.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So it's not a real gang banging spot up north that way, like that in the Bay, like that, right?
It's a whole different thing. They got a whole different get down in Oakland. And they all say blood.
Okay.
They not gangbangers. It's so many niggas that was around DOC, who's one of the greatest rappers. He's been around Bloods and Crips all his life. He ain't never, ever claimed either one. He claimed, I'm from Dallas. I'm from Oak Cliff, nigga. I will bust your ass. He's fought both, Bloods and Crips. Did you know Eazy-E was a real Crip?
Yeah.
Did you ever hear him say it?
No.
Exactly. Ice Cube, did he ever say he was a Crip?
Nah.
That's what I'm saying. Dub C. The first nigga who ever said it was the real, we call him Dave West, DJ Quick. He was banging on wax.
Yeah.
But he's really from that set. That was that's what he was talking about, because that's where he's from. He's a Compton. He's a blood.
Got you. So did Dave East ever, I mean, because I know y'all had your back and forth, but have y'all ever talked since then?
I'm not mad at Dave East.
But he might be mad at you, though.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I'm trying to save you. Pac did the same thing.
Yeah.
You're not a blood, nigga. You from Oakland. What do you mean? You're not, what are you doing? See, I'm Dave East's least problem. He's got to worry about a nigga from East Side, ESP Piru, San Diego Piru, running up on him, and he ain't got nothing but some raps. You got to show that now. Now you gotta show and prove.
Nah, that's real. I mean, it's guys getting checked out here right now, man. I mean, the internet gang is popularized in rap culture as fashionable.
Exactly. And that's why I say I shouldn't have said shit, because I don't know what the fuck they do. Gotcha. Nobody knew I was part of a set. But my people from my neighborhood know. Yeah, nigga.
So what was your set? Or what's your neighborhood set? So because it sounded like you was blood.
Yeah.
Okay.
San Diego Bunny Boys, Upside, Emerald Hills.
So that's why you popping shit. That's why you got all the smoke.
It ain't no smoke. It's in me. It's not on me.
That ism. It's like pimping.
I'm from Old Memory Lane.
Got you. Got you.
You ask anybody in Dago about Old Memory Lane, oh yeah.
How do you feel about out of towners banging a Piru set, a street they never been to, or a Crip set?
First of all, he ain't no gang member, so how he know? So I mean, everybody give their opinion. He ain't from Compton. Not that I know he from LA. He a comedian, ain't he?
Yeah, I think he said he's from San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego ain't they got 11% blacks, So I don't know him ever being a gang member. So to solidify, my situation is in your state. Be your state. You can be a Piru from Detroit. Be a Detroit Piru.
Gotcha.
Don't say you from Fruittown and you never been to Fruittown. Don't say you from the trees and they never. Don't say you from Looters. It's okay. I mean, it's okay to say that, but sooner or later you should get your own independence. You feel what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
This is the basis. So when you start, and the only problem that I have with states they have a misinterpretation and a misconception what this gang banging is really about. And they take it to a level that, like, wow, we ain't got it together in California. Ain't nothing. You cannot go to Compton right now today, bro, and go to no black restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot go to Compton tonight and go to no black club. We don't have any. We was the first black-run city west of the Mississippis in 1970. Black mayor, black police chief, 14 mayors. We still ain't got a Martin Luther King. We don't have a Malcolm X highway. We don't have an Obama street. What's wrong with that picture?
Yeah, that's crazy.
The first black-run city, and you want to have one street. Rosecrans, General Rosecrans. Santa Fe, General Santa Fe. Dominguez, General Dominguez. General Alameda, General San Pedro, General San Jose. So California belonged to Mexicans, huh?
I mean, technically it was theirs.
It was theirs, and they come to get it back.
No, absolutely.
But all the time, when all of these people come here and come back, we lose ourselves in the mix.
Absolutely.
So where's Negro Town? Everybody, if you go to California, you got Little Saigon, you get Little Armenia, you got Little Bangladesh. The ghetto used to be for blacks, but now the Mexicans got that.
Yeah.
So, they got Santa Monica, and they got Santa Ana, and they got San Pedro, and they got Wilmington. So what is left for black folks? Because if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything.
That's real. So I know y'all been highly critical Charleston White. What was your relationship with Charleston? Like, how did you meet him? Because Charleston is highly critical that he feel like gang members and rappers are the downfall of black communities.
Charleston White is the number one enemy to black America, to black youth. He's more damaged than any Ku Klux Klan.
Well, how so?
Y'all got problems in Dallas. I looked at the statistics from 1973 to 2016. It was over 1,400 unsolved murders on blacks at the hands of whites. The only plug that came in Texas back was gangs. It's not a registered gang, a black gang in Texas before 1983. But they got the Proud Boys, they got the Klansmen, they got M13, they got TS, Texas Syndicate. All of those are formulated gangs in Texas that been pushing up on blacks. They've been doing their silent community and this and that. But until crack cocaine came and first MS-13 come from California.
Okay.
And when they was dealing with Rick Ross, They start coming out here, and the Hoovers came out here and you ain't got to go to a Mexican. They start putting dope in blacks' hands. Now, it was a good thing, but it gave them an independence. And them dudes start becoming Crips.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Charlie. Charlie, I don't know him from a can of paint. But this man hurts his own self. In his own testimony, he said he was trying to shoot something and he hit himself in the eye. And then he went to the circus and was running from a clown or to a clown or being a clown, and he messed his eye up again. So the man is handicapped. He started off with one eye. Then he catch a murder, and he gives all this glorification. And he said if anybody said that he a rat, he'd give him $25,000. He told on his crime partner. And the man was 15 when the murder started and 16 when he got convicted. And his earliest parole date is 2066. Now, in a child's mind, the development of a mind, we talking about white people. They say a white man's mind from 14, he doesn't develop until he's 20 and doesn't process until he's 26. So you push if that had been a white kid killing a black man, you think he'd have got a 2066 day?
Not at all.
So we have a problem here. So we got this little boy that went to a detention center and they was pressuring him and he went to PC and a white lady gave him a book called Monster Cody, Monster. And he became a Crip behind a book.
Mm.
And he started idolizing and he told the kids something they didn't know because they hadn't been to country ass Texas. Not that like that though. You know.
Yeah, I got you.
So he became the big man at 3'4", and he carried on that platform. He introduced himself to Melvin Farmer, came out, got with everybody, and he saw his angle. I ain't mad at his angle, but he's a detriment because it's a lot of these closet queers that's been wanting to say fuck gang members, fuck, but you ain't done nothing no better.
Mm.
So General Patton said, it is better to make a wrong decision than no decision at all. So you got all these coons around here making no decision, standing on CharlestonWhite's back. But what has he done? He talk about, I haven't seen one giveaway. I haven't seen nothing that he related to doing with kids since my little short term with him. I go back doing to my community from the 70s. Garth Brooks gave us $1 million on restructuring LA after the gang truce in 1992. I started the first black youth council in the city of Compton in the 70s. My council members were Omar Bradley was a mayor, Paul Richardson was a mayor, Lawrence Adams was a city manager, John Johnson was a city manager. I didn't create, but I gave some kids some opportunity to see how real gangsters lived, how money was spent.
Yeah.
Not just street stuff.
Now, I know he and Say Cheese just did a huge giveaway, back to school giveaway about 2-3 weeks ago. I mean, it was thousands of people out there. Like, I don't know if you saw the pictures of the videos, but I mean, free Nike shoes, free haircuts, backpacks, things. I mean, people were out there from that morning. Lines, thousands of people came through.
That's a beautiful floor mat, but that's all free shit.
Yeah.
They get that shit donated from Walmart, from Nike, you know what I'm saying? Because that's their write-offs. And it's good. But how many with the tennis shoes, did they give kids socks? The most critical thing a kid needs is underwear and socks, huh?
That's definitely important for sure.
You know, so a backpack, shit, what am I do with it?
I mean,
you know, it's just like a book today.
Yeah.
Most of these kids will roll weed with a book. He ain't doing everything on their laptops, huh?
Yeah.
So a book is primitive. Or I gave books out. I passed out. How many kids gonna read them?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm saying they got book bags, not books. But
you know, book bags. I heard what you're saying.
Yeah.
But that wasn't an original idea. We've been doing that in California for 20 years.
Got you.
But it ain't changed the situation of people being homeless, huh?
What do you feel like his biggest? I know you're saying he had detriment. So what about his message? What is it about? Because I know I interviewed Charleston before, and I
His
said
message is full of shit. His message, I don't give a fucking. That man said one day he didn't believe in Moses. Show where Moses' grave is. He just will say anything, man. He has no substance to the stuff he's saying. It kind of sounds like it makes sense to you. But tell me one time, when we came here first, we came here to talk about some stuff that he said about Compton. But Charleston is not a debater. He's an arguer. He wants to dominate the conversation. He will not sit down literally and talk to nobody. Whoever he ever interviewed and they had a challenge on debating him, something he said.
yeah, I can see that. I can see it a little bit.
I mean, have you ever sit down with somebody that had an opposite opinion of him?
I would say I've never seen it set up knowingly. I mean, and I don't see all the Charleston interviews, so I can't speak of it, but completely. I don't know if an interview knowingly that somebody that he walked in knowing that they about to oppose him.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. Everybody that he interviews with is like you interviewing him, and he gonna say some way out, and nobody can counter it.
But we also here for the show. We want him to say the outlandish shit, right?
And that's good for the show, but is it good for the people?
Has he said anything that you ever agree with, like as far as like the gangs or anything? Has he ever said? Because I think that's the thing that works for Charleston is he can say some bullshit that you know is completely bullshit, but then he can say some stuff that actually can make some sense. And
it's just like saying, okay, I just had a gun, but I killed you, but I agree that I just had the gun. So if I got the gun and do harm with the gun, it's no matter what I said before, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to tell you I don't agree with shit he say.
So what if somebody counter it with saying like the gang can kind of be the same way? It's I feed the community poison, but I also give you turkeys on Thanksgiving. Wouldn't that kind of be the same as that thing is, okay, yeah, we out here and we killed a couple of people, but we also giving a giveaway. Isn't that still like you're nurturing the abuse? Pretty much you are the abuser who turns around and then nurture the abuse. So
basically,
it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, my point exactly. You're saying all this stuff and you're doing it. So white America has been giving us tokens forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I deal with the Black Unicorn Factory. We're the first black IPO.
Okay.
And President Barack Obama wrote a law called the Jobs Act. And it's jumpstarting private businesses, right? And in the Jobs Act, he says, I'm leveling the playing field. You know, in 1921, you remember a place called Black Wall Street, right?
Yep, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And they destroyed Black Wall Street because Black Wall Street had taken on a development from Wall Street, and blacks turned over money 19 times before it got it back into white hands. But they only established community. They didn't understand how to establish a township. And just like they destroyed them, how God have it, he destroyed them crackers in 1929, the Great Depression, right?
Yeah.
Tore them down. In 1932, Franklin Delano Roosevelt made a thing called the New Deal. What Negroes know about the New Deal is called Social Security, huh?
Yep.
And we got Social Security. But what the New Deal did was he said he was given a shot in the arm for Wall Street, and he gave Wall Street $2 billion to get back on their feet. In 1933, they came out with some people called the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission. And the Securities and Exchange Commission, to keep blacks away from anything about stocks, you had to have $2 million to go into Wall Street, or make $250,000 a year, or have a millionaire introduce you. What nigga had that in 1933? Who got it today?
Fact.
You feel what I'm saying? So we've been shot out this whole time. President Barack Obama says we're leveling the playing field. So he knocked all the restrictions down to the SEC, right? And he started the Jobs Act. Did you hear about the Jobs Act before?
No.
You're just not hearing about it, huh?
Correct.
So have you heard about unicorn stock?
No.
Unicorn stock, with the term unicorn, since they level the playing field. Now, Barack Obama told the Senate and the House of Representatives to make the law, and his statement was, "Go tell my people," right? But in Chapter 7 in the Jobs Act, it don't say tell blacks, it said tell minorities. That don't make you black, huh?
Not at all.
Homosexual is a minority, huh?
Yeah.
So now they did a 42 fake on us. Everybody knew about the Jobs Act but you. You learning about it today, huh?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. 2016, they came up with unicorn stock. Unicorn stock is any IPO private stock that goes into the stock market that's $1 billion stock. Facebook is a unicorn. WhatsApp is a unicorn. Grubhub is a unicorn. They say they find 360 unicorns a year in the world, right? You ever heard of Robert Ursovic?
No.
Shark Tank.
Oh, yeah.
The boy on Shark Tank. He left Shark Tank and got a podcast called Angels and Entrepreneurs, right? He says, when I find you a unicorn, you will be rich and your generation will be rich forever because it's the only stock that you get 1,000 times your investment.
Wow.
Right? So my partner, Johnny Stewart, was in the feds, had been telling me about this since 2014. He got out of prison in 2020. He was one of 74 people that didn't have COVID. He said, "Marv, I'm on." And he said, "Look, we're not going to find unicorns. We're going to make them."
And this is what this is.
The first 16 IPO businesses, the Black Unicorn Factory. My company is a virtual cannabis business called Potts Grove Farms.
Okay.
And we're going into the stock market, and we deal with, everybody got a phone, right? Everybody uses a phone. We follow Charleston White for free, right?
Yeah.
Now just think if I told you, follow me for equity. Use your phone. Every time you go to my app, you follow me, your first go into my app, you get $150 stock in my company. If you follow me for 1 year, you'll get $180,000 worth of stock in my company. In 16 months, you can pull out and get your $180,000. But if you follow me for 22 months, when I go into the stock market, the $180,000 will be $1,800,000, right? The cannabis business last year made $167 billion.
I can believe it.
They say by 2024, they'll make $960 billion, right? 1% of $960 billion is $96 million.
It's a lot of money.
So $96 million with 1% in Black Potts Grove Farm. I'm from Compton. I done sold dope. And if I can't make 1% of something, I'm a bad hustler. Huh?
Yeah. Not in this case, though.
You understand me? So if I make 1%, each one of the people that's following me in Potts Grove Farm will get a check for $2,500,000. Now just think if we make 3%.
Jeez.
So it's a big world out here, and we stay locked up in some bullshit.
So when y'all go and Charleston, they ain't come up, like, what's the ultimate goal? Because it seemed like the goal is to take him down. Like, do you feel like he's in the way of progression for black people?
No, I wouldn't be who I am. You wouldn't know me if it wasn't for Charleston. I like him. Shit, I was AyatollahMarv from Compton.
Right.
He put me on the platform. When he walked out of here, everybody, who is these old niggas here? And ran CharlestonWhite out.
Take me to that day, though, on Boss Talk, because I guess that's one of those iconic interviews, over 1 million views on YouTube right now. What was the goal that day when you were sitting down with Charleston? Like, what did he say? What were you trying to get some understanding for the people to see?
I came for one purpose. He was in an interview with one of my homies, Mob James, out of Compton. Him and Mob got into it. Him and Mob exchanged words. He went on a podcast and said, fuck Mob James, fuck Mob J, brother Buncherell, who got killed and it was dear to us, how he got murdered. It's some political shit. So the homies are like, man, this nigga here, but ain't nobody coming to Texas.
Right.
They
Right.
talking, they territorial killers. I'm international. Or national, I ain't been inter. So I'm like, I get with Mel, I'm like, who is this guy? He said, man, this little dude, yeah. I said, man, I just need to talk to him. So he said, well, man, we can set it up. So we went to set it up, and I just wanted to, because Mob James didn't say fuck his crackhead grandmother or his dope addict auntie or his loose mother. He talks all this stuff, man. It's some, I've done some research on Charleston's family. Oh, he ain't all who he say he is. So that was how the interview was supposed to go. So once he came out, again, he took off. He took off and started running his mouth and started saying this and fuck Nipsey Hussle and fuck that and fuck this and fuck that. But that how it wasn't. So nobody interrupted him. Nobody said anything. And then Melvin just like, he defended Crips. Like, that's what we came here for.
Yeah.
Defend our stand. But instead of him standing there, they was playing for the camera. Whichever it was, you faulted. You left out of Texas. We came to Texas. That's it. That's all. And his platform could be what it is. I'm not here right now. It's about this brother Antoine Doolittle. This brother been in prison since 1991. You know, and we should, as a people, if they let him out, what could he do? Since 15.
Yeah.
If he's messing with boys, you can't be mad at him because he probably didn't have a girlfriend when he left, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
So they're locking our kids up and we ain't doing nothing about it. So he's not the exception, he the rule. We got dudes all over the country. I'm not saying he didn't do it, but what was his mind frame? How did he grow up? Why did America see that he had a mental disability and put him in a treatment center?
And he was 15, so he was still a minor.
He's a child.
Yeah.
But because he's black, I'm going to put him in the lion's den. And see, in the jungle, there ain't but two things in the jungle, right?
Predator and prey.
Predator and prey. So if you don't become the predator, you become the prey, huh?
That's real. I want to pick your mind about this because I know you had a relationship with Suge, and you was on the site of the set when things go down, when everything went down. Can you talk on that and speak on that? Like, what was your vantage point for what went down? Because, a lot of times people look at Suge as the boogeyman, and when you kind of get that reputation as a boogeyman, there's no such thing as defending yourself.
And it was not he even defended himself. He was trying to escape where he was being assaulted. Mm-hmm. He was the victim. And Terry was a friend of his. This wasn't like, I was just in a discussion with some guys last night. Told me he ran over him. No, he didn't. When Bone was attacking him, when he put his car in reverse, the side mirror hit him and knocked him down.
Oh, man.
Knocked him out, knocked him on the ground. Suge couldn't see him. And when Suge backed up, he saw something else that he thought was a threat, and he pulled in, and Terry was trying to go help Suge and fell in front of the car. And the car ran over it.
Man.
Straight accident, and everybody, but, everybody say Suge is not even a gangster, but he's the only one kept it one. He ain't never told on nobody. Everybody tell on him, huh? But he ain't told on nobody. Bone went to court on him. So he wouldn't be in prison if somebody hadn't told. I didn't. Police got my name. I didn't give it to him. Bone gave it to him.
Oh, man.
So when these people are talking and making these heroes, These dudes are rats too, you know. So that's my problem with Yosemite Sam. He's talking about who's on grid and who's working for the police. How'd you get all this information? I don't get it. I'm in the street every day. And when you say a man is telling, who did he tell on? Ain't nobody coming up saying, oh yeah, so-and-so told on me. And you ain't got no verification of that. You just blow. And that's how people can get assassinated, through word of mouth. Somebody said you did something.
Well, I look at it like, I see Suge, man. I call myself Suge Diddy because I say I'm big like Suge, but I party like Diddy.
Okay.
But I look at Suge, man, as one of those people that he had a empire, like, you know, $1 billion. If he was able to still keep it, it'd be almost $1 billion, if not more, company, just like Diddy. But do you feel like he got caught up in the character?
He's not the smartest tool in the shed. He got manipulated, and he had too much love for his homeboys that didn't have love for him. Mm-hmm. They wasn't supporting him. They was tearing stuff up. White America had a direction they wanted Suge to go. He defied that. Fuck you, I'm gonna do this. Him and Omar like matching bookheads. Omar's the man. These two yellow niggas here is so hard-headed. Ain't no revolution. It's resistance. Resistance is private. Let's build with resistance.
Yeah.
White America would not have a revolution. And you think you're going to change the game with force with a bunch of other idiot dudes following behind you? I remember one time my brother, him and some of the homeboys, they was over on Cherry Street, and these is all OGs. And all the youngsters was selling dope, and the OGs was this and that. A van pulls up, comes out and empty. Shoot my brother 2 times, shoot Donnie, shoot Frank. Ain't none of the youngsters got shot, right? And I say, anytime a general gets shot, I mean, you got a weak army, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
He's supposed to be the last one to go.
For sure. Like, with Suge and kind of knowing him and things of that nature, did you ever have a run-in or get to know Pop?
Yeah, I did Gridlock with Pac.
Okay.
And then when Suge brought in Reggie Wright, their company, I left that detail and went with Mike Tyson.
Okay. So with Pac, because like I know you was talking about Piru, and then like Mob James and they Mob Piru. Like, is that a street? Like, where did Mob Piru come from?
Mob Piru the birth of all of that on the east side came from Ludus Park.
Got you. Okay.
Before the mob, they was Linwood Crips. And all of their OGs used to be Ludus Park, then they became the mob. Okay. The mob, then you got Hollywood. Before Hollywood, they was Pan-Ass Gangster Crips. And the Ludus Park, Marcus Nunn, them, then you had Elms Lane, then you had Lime Hood. All of those were created from Ludus Park. Okay.
So when Tupac and one of his sons like, you not the mob, we the motherfucking mob, he was talking about Mob Piru.
Yeah.
I
don't know what he was talking about. He's a rapper.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get to, because
he took on the assimilation of the gang.
Okay.
He was rolling with the mob, Bunch Real, Mob James. The mob was just like when Game came on, it was Cedar Block. It was Black Wall Street. Everybody follows.
Got you.
So when Pac was on. Everybody was from the mob. You got some dudes was from L.A. Hey, bro, where you at? Oh, man, I'm with the mob. I'm with the money. You know? So it was where white America had let him down. Suge picked him up.
Okay.
And he felt so glorified, and he got a whole crew behind him. And now they just go anywhere. When they see them coming, everybody shatters. Like, it's something to have power, bro.
When you see him rolling with being the security detail and seeing that bubble up between that East Coast, West Coast beef, excuse me, and what they saying with Diddy was kind of went with the Southside Crips as his detail, things of that nature, allegedly. Did you ever see that tension while doing that detail of Bad Boy and Death Row?
It It wasn't. It wasn't no tension because the East Coast couldn't come out here and make no sweat, bro. I remember when Pac got the 8 awards at the BET Award, and that's '96, and we were NOI security was down there, and they had a briefing, and they wanted Suge to be mentored by not Don King. What's the dude was Soul Train?
Don Cornelius.
Don Cornelius. So Don Cornelius wanted, so Suge was like his own thing. So they said Pac was just the big feud, East Coast, West Coast. So they said that they was only letting so many people in at a time. So we had called Suge early, man, y'all get here on time because they're trying to limit it. So Biggie and his crew, Puffy, they came in like 1:30 during the daytime. They let all 20 of them in, right? So now Suge them come rolling up. The event already started. They roll up about 6 o'clock. Late. Now the police is there. Ain't nobody can come in but you and Pac and you and this and that, right? Suge like, man, I'm not trying to get in free. They had to go around and so they had them segregated off. They didn't understand how they were being alienated. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once they alienated them, they start picking them apart, right? So then we go on to Vegas. I was in Vegas when Pac got hit. That was a tragic and way another story with that. And I was doing Black Ground Records with Aaliyah and Genuine when Biggie got shot. We was on our way to the Peterson Museum, and they called and, man, don't come over here. They just shot Biggie, right?
Damn.
Yeah.
Being in Vegas, so when you was in Vegas, that's now you on Mike Tyson's security detail. Yeah. Where were you? Because they there for the fight. So is this the night of the fight?
The night of the fight.
Okay. Can you take me through when you found out Pac got killed?
Everybody was after the fight. Suge, Pac, Montreal all came to Mike's dressing room. Everybody was just jovial. Mike was going back to the house and changed clothes. Everybody was supposed to meet at Suge's club. We kicked back. Pac had took off his vest because he always wore it after he got shot. He kept his vest on. They left out. Bam. Everybody was getting ready to go. Have you ever been to Las Vegas?
Yeah, I have. Yep.
On fight night in Las Vegas, it's packed back-to-back cars.
I can only imagine.
People all on the street. A Mike Tyson fight, this is the biggest thing ever. Cars are back-to-back. I told you, California people, we're territorial. You don't come to another state. I can't just come to Detroit and know where to drive around.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
And so you would have me believe that some kids out of Compton came and saw somebody and in Las Vegas Boulevard traffic made a U-turn, came and killed you, and nobody even got the license plates of the car?
So you don't believe the Keefe D story?
Keefe D is an informant. He'll do anything to keep from going to prison. Mm-hmm. Do you believe the Keefe D story?
I mean, shit, it sounds good to me.
Sounds good. Because we can say anything when a man is dead, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
So all while this was going on, Orlando never got arrested for it, huh?
Nope.
And nobody ever said that he was associated with this. And if you look at that tape about Suge, when they say he's supposed to, you can't even see Suge. You don't know him. You don't know who did what, huh?
Nope.
Now, he was never arrested or called on nothing in Las Vegas. So how did he get a violation in California? Who told him? You got to push pawns, bro. This chess game here, and the whole thing was to get rid of Suge and take over death row. So who had a vested interest? Who profited from it?
I don't want to say no. Who you think did it?
I know who did it.
No.
You know.
I mean, who all came anyway? Harry-O? No.
Harry-O had to do you know what? I used to say, man, Harry-O did this. I listened to an interview a couple of weeks ago about Harry-O. And, you know, like some shit gets frustrated. And he said, man, at this interview asked, well, why did you do 30 years? He said, because they asked me the only way I could get out, I had to go get on the stand on Suge. And I couldn't get on the stand. And I'm like, he said, so I sued Universal. I got $100 million suing Universal. So I'm going to be mad at him.
So yeah, that's out the window then.
You know, so like you look at him, Suge is a done dada. Harry-O, Dr. Dre, and Snoop is together. I want to get on a winning team. These dudes are winning. They put in their time.
No, absolutely.
Suge, with his arrogance, he thought that Dre would be over. That Dre was, but he makes the beats. You just a worker. And he like, okay, I'm leaving. And turn right around. Now he all the way up.
All the way.
In 2014, June 19th in Compton is called Dre Day. Dr. Dre, the first black billionaire of Compton, California.
It's crazy, but it's a great thing. It's a great thing.
You know, so a lot of our young kids don't know nothing about Juneteenth. And the celebration of Juneteenth to me is backwards. You know what Juneteenth represents actually?
Yeah, we supposed to, Texas, or finding out that they was free.
2 years after the freedom.
Yeah.
So we celebrating because we 2 years behind. That's something we need to forget. We need to get above time, right?
No, absolutely.
So that's what I tell people when we talk about, man, them niggas in the South, this country, they slow. How is you slow and you wake up 2 hours before we do? You up in the morning doing what you do while I'm still asleep.
Yeah.
Nature makes you ahead of me. Detroit's 3 hours time difference.
Yep, 3 hours ahead.
So like, man, only one time in my life, I thought wasn't nothing bigger than Compton, bro. My whole life from prison on was all about that 10 square miles. When I got to San Quentin, I met dudes out of Louisiana. I met them out of Detroit. I met them out of Chicago. And this dude named Joe Louis Sturgis out of New Orleans told me one day, he said, damn, Casey. He said, y'all the damnedest people I ever seen in my life. He said, man, it's 250 you niggas in here for murder. He said, I thought Compton was big as China and found out it ain't but 10 square miles. He said, God damn, you going right back to eat where you shit at, huh? When I get out, I'm going back to New Orleans. So I'm like, damn, made all the sense in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
Why should I keep the crime rate up in my state and I got 50 others I can go do something at? You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
So we don't look at it like that. That changed the game in the South. We came here, when these youngsters came, the Crips and Bloods start coming here selling dope, going to Oklahoma, coming to Texas, they came in with khaki suits on. In the South, a man with a khaki suit is a janitor.
Yeah, that's real.
You understand me? So here you come in looking like a real clown. You know, say in Rome, do as the Romans do. You come in setting yourself off. So, I mean, I was in Texas one time selling dope. They couldn't kill me. They told the police on me. That boy ain't from around here. The laws go get him. 1979, they made me an unwelcome guest of Houston, Texas. Told me if I come back as much as get a traffic ticket, I'd do 20 years in Huntsville.
Oh, man, so you got up out of here.
It cost me $750,000.
Good question. I know you said y'all was territorial. How is it that like artists like Chris Brown and Soulja Boy end up getting associated with like Fruit Town and things of that nature?
Like right now, we're so starstruck. You be a gang member, I'm going to put you on.
Okay.
And so, and it's retarded on both ends. How you going to be a millionaire and then be a gang member? What did you need us for?
Is it extortion? Some people look at it as like it's a soft extortion.
No, I mean, I made a comment about Chris. I used his name, but it's not being extorted. Chris is a level-headed dude. Fruittown violated some shit with him, and he stopped fucking with him. You know, that's it. That's all. But you get these dudes that come in and they wasting all this money, but they haven't put one studio in Fruittown, one studio in Elms Lane that young kids can create. But you'll mess off $25,000, $30,000 in a strip club. But you claiming a set and you don't do nothing with these dudes. So they say, ask not, get not, huh?
Yeah, sometimes it's like that.
So if we don't ask you for nothing, you ain't got to give nothing. My grandma told me, dealing with a woman, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? You know what I'm saying? A girl told me, like, Marvin, me and you can do this together. I'm like, why would I do that? What I need you for? Well, I can help you. I ain't got no rent signs on my house. She said, well, I never asked a man for money. That was your first mistake. If you don't put a price on you, why should I?
So with you saying that, and we'll get ready to end on this. Since, you know, you old school, you together, man, I see your drip everywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? You on Adam 22, you know, design it down and everything. But I got to ask you, is it tricking if you got it?
Yes. What's a trick, though?
You tell me, what's the trick to you?
I don't know, because I ain't paying for shit. Let me say this. I'm going to give you the first $100.
Okay.
I've never Mac for a car. I've never Mac for this Rolex watch. I seen how much it costs, and I paid for it, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I ask you how much you cost, and I pay you for it, if we have sex, every time you moan or you cry, I'm taking off $10. Because it ain't for you, it's for me, right? You ain't supposed to enjoy it. If you enjoy it, I need to get paid, right?
Absolutely.
Fair exchange ain't no robbery. So tricking, what is tricking?
Some people feel like...
See, people are like, a trick, actually, in the street, in the old school, with prostitutes, she turns tricks. The dude that pays for it was called a John.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So how did I start tricking? If she ain't flipping, she ain't tricking. So whatever you can afford, if that's what you cater. Let me say this. Tricking is doing something you can't afford, no matter what it is. If you take drugs and you can't afford it, you're tricking.
That's deep. That's real.
You know, that's tricking. One of my partners told me one time that they had these girls over, and him and his partner, they was messing with these girls, and he spent like $5,000 that night, and he woke up in the morning broke, and he tell Lo, he said, "Man, that was stupid." Lo said, "Yeah, it was."
So with that being said, based on that definition, spending something you can't afford, have you ever tricked?
No.
My man.
I'm a predator. I'm not prey.
Well, goddamn.
I told my baby mama one time when I first met her, she said, "You a sucker." I said, "You right, but the wrapper's on tight. By the time you unwrap it, you may not like the taste."
Well, you know what? Hearing this, I need to get my life together because I realize I might be a habitual trick.
If you like it, you know, some people like Biggie says the one girl wanted him to shit on him.
Oh man, yeah.
So, whatever you like, bro. You know, I'm limited.
Hey, I feel it on that. Well, I tell you what, man, I edit this part out. AyatollahMarv, man, I appreciate you sitting down with me, sharing your journey. You guys, man, y'all move with so much vigor and so much life, man. And I love to see y'all keep moving around. Oh, just one more thing. Are y'all gonna ever start a podcast? Like y'all own shit for us to tap into?
I'm attempting, like I say, I'm doing Pottsgrove Farms.
Okay.
They gossiping, like, who cares? I want to try to get generational wealth.
Got you.
And if I can't talk about us making money, me making money first, then you can get some. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
So yeah, I'm not a person to give you my last, because I feel it's really stupid to give you my last.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you ain't got nothing, you take mine, and both of us ain't got nothing. the shirt off my back. I wish the fuck I would take my shirt off and give it to some nigga that ain't got a shirt. What happened to yours?
Yeah, for real.
You know. So yeah, I'm in process right now with the help of Boss Talk there, and they gonna give me some technical instruction that they don't know yet. But
there you go. Put them on notice.
And we'll be on Pottsgrove Farms shortly.
Well, I tell you what, again, I appreciate you sitting down with me, and hopefully we can link up when I come to LA.
For sure.
Peace
Come
out.
to
Compton. My bad. Peace out.